get one shot at making boxing history. And this is my shot. Like Eric Thomas said, you have to sacrifice who you are for what you will become. This is it. I'm ready.
Welcome to a jam-packed Hershey Center for a night of stars here in Mississauga, Ontario. This is Championship Boxing. Hi again, everybody. Doug Anderson, along with my broadcast partners, the mighty Tibor Broch, a former Canadian champion, and of course, the ever-professional Michelle Storino. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I got to talk to you guys right out. This is a WBA World Title night, a big night for Canadian boxing, and a huge night from United Promotions and Title Fight Promotions. They have put on a big show here tonight, Tibor.
It's exciting, yeah. We got a lot of stuff on the line today, some big fights, good matchups. These guys are putting it all on the line. Should be good. Should be a big war tonight.
Michelle, have you seen anything of the likes like this before around here?
Absolutely not. I mean, think about it. Denton, Daley, a guy who grew up pretty much down the street from the Hershey Center. He's going to be fighting for a title right here in front of family and friends. I mean, how many people get that opportunity, Doug? Not many.
Well, Michelle, you had a chance to talk to Sugar Shane Mosley and do an interview with him, and he talked about the difficulty of fighting in your own hometown. What did you have to say on that regard?
Absolutely. I asked him specifically, did he have any advice for a guy like Denton Daley? He said, as great as it is to have a support system around you all the time with the family, the friends, the promoters, and being so close to home, that regularity of sleeping in your own bed, you have to get away and focus. And then you come back and you're ready, prepared to win.
You know what, Tibor, you talk about Youri Kalenga, who is the interim champion right now here in the Cruiserweight division. And you gotta say, why does a guy come as a #1 contender out of France to Canada to fight a guy in his hometown? Not only that, you yourself have been in that position before. It's a very difficult position to be in.
Yeah, I've been in that position many times. The only thing I can take from that is Kalenga is very confident. Probably is looking to go right through Daley, but he's got a full plate on it because Daley, he's a great athlete and he likes to fight. He's tough as nails. It's gonna be hard to say what happens.
Kalenga's nickname is El Toro, the Bull. He's a guy that's known as going straight forward. His record is 20-1 with 13 knockouts, and he can knock you out from both sides.
Yeah, he's a strong guy, just like his name. I know that he likes to come forward a little bit square in the fights, which might work against him a little bit. Denton is, more of your traditional on the side sort of style. He's going to make him the smaller target than Kalenga. Might end up, Kalenga might be more accessible to getting hit. I also, however, know that Kalenga is a busy fighter. He likes to throw a lot of combinations. Den doesn't want to hold back too much and get caught up about, looking like he's not working just as much as Kalenga.
Michelle, quickly, for a guy like dangerous Denton Daley, educated fighter, what they call him, a guy that uses the ring to his advantage and moves very well in the ring?
I was just going to say footwork will be his #1 ally in a fight like this. Someone who's coming forward, used to, putting his punches together like Tibor said. And if you're used to going straight forward, the best thing you can do is just dance around him, get those angles, and get those shots off when you have the opportunity.
Let's take a look at the rundown of the top 10 in the WBA in the Cruiserweight division. And here's how the interim looks. There you see Youri Kalenga, the interim champion, on top. There's dangerous Denton Daley in second. But both of those guys, all they really want is a shot at the champion, Denis Lebedev of Russia. And the winner of this will be the mandatory shot against Denis Lebedev.
The contracts are signed. It's going down. You can say what you want, but it's happening. So both guys are looking to win and get that next shot. It's going to be exciting.
Lots of rumors surrounding this fight and lots of rumors about who will be in attendance. But you know what? I went yesterday to the weigh-ins and watched both of these guys. There is no love lost between these two gentlemen.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Youri Kalenga, El Toro des Peoples. Je suis champion du monde par intérim. Et me voilà au Canada aujourd'hui, je remets mon titre en jeu. Et voilà.
I know that he has a big mouth. It's the only thing I know about him. Like many of my other opponents, same type of deal. They make it interesting. It's fun for me. It's a good journey for me. And I'm definitely looking forward to closing that mouth.
Ouais, apparemment, premièrement, dans Daley, c'est pas le genre de boxeur que moi je calcule. Et puis voilà, aujourd'hui, ça fait que il a eu la chance parce qu'il a déjà un bon promoteur qui lui a donné cette chance-là de faire le championnat du monde à 12 combats, dont beaucoup de boxeurs n'ont jamais eu cette occasion.
You're gonna get that. I appreciate it all. I don't get fazed by any talk. I don't get down or feel that I can't accomplish something based on what somebody else says. So I've never been that way, so I'm lucky for that. And I just put it all aside and go for what I know I can do.
Et on va voir qu'est-ce qu'il va donner parce que moi je suis sûr de moi je suis El Toro, donc je me suis entraîné pour et je suis prêt. Donc je suis prêt à battre Denton, Daley chez lui.
It is definitely the biggest fight, but in my situation, they were all the biggest fight. Every single opponent I've had was a make or break for my career. So I treat it exactly the same. I know what's on the line, and I will come prepared.
Il se prénomme dangereux. Moi, je crois pas qu'il est dangereux. C'est parce qu'il n'a pas encore rencontré plus dangereux que lui. Moi, je suis le genre de boxeur qui refuse personne, qui a peur de personne. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, la plupart des boxeurs, ils veulent pas venir remettre leur titre en jeu à l'extérieur. Moi, je suis un grand champion. Un grand champion boxe partout. En parlant de dangereux, je crois pas qu'il est dangereux.
Yeah, so on YouTube, he's speaking about fighting only at home, and he's going to come to Canada and knock me out, so to say, right? So I appreciate that thought. I would definitely like for him to do it, not say it, and let's go from there.
Encore 10 ans, 10 years, 10 ans, donc encore 10 ans, je vais être champion du monde et battre tout le grand de ce monde. Aujourd'hui, mon objectif, c'est quand même, après Denton Daley, de boxer Denis Lebedev, pourquoi pas Marco Huck, pourquoi pas Hernandez. Donc je suis prêt à boxer tous ces grands champions.
My prediction is I don't see the fight going more than 7 rounds. I think I'll stop him within 7 rounds. I'm pretty confident that I will stop him within 7 rounds, so feeling good about that.
Donc moi je suis prêt, donc je me suis dit, je vais battre Denton Daley samedi et pour rencontrer Denis Lebedev.
All it's going to mean to me is that I did it. I set out to do what I said I was going to do, and that's the most important thing. I live by that principle, those kind of rules. When I put my head down and go for something, I like to see it through to the end, and this will just be one of them, the most important one that will sit with me for the rest of my life.
Non, je respecte tous les adversaires, je respecte tous les adversaires. Mais en disant qu'il est dangereux, non. Je ne respecte pas les dangereux. Parce que moi, je suis le plus grand boxeur, le plus dangereux des boxeurs. Parce que moi, j'ai mis des super KO que lui. J'en ai gagné des grands de ce monde. Samedi soir, je vais gagner et je vais ramener mon titre en France.
Yeah, please show up on November 15th. That's it.
Time to get the night of fights started. Let's go to the ring. Here's your ring announcer, Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, Eric El Brujo Mínez.
Well, Eric Morales El Brujo, 8-3 record with 3 knockouts. He's 27 and stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. One of those typical Mexican fighters that's going to keep coming at you right from the opening bell, Tibor.
Yeah, Kevin Hickson, he better be sharp.
He's a quarter of a pound less than Kevin Hickson, coming in at 150 3/4. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He seems very confident that he can put on a show for the fans here in the Hershey Center.
And now let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner, Kevin Higgy Hickson.
Well, we've seen Kevin Hickson before in this light middleweight division. Hickson's 4-0 at 25 years of age. He stands 5'9", hailing from Hamilton, Ontario. And everything that we've seen from Kevin Hickson, he's a bull. He's got tremendous concentration.
Yeah, I was going to say that he seems like an all-around pretty good fighter. Confident, cool. I expected him to do good things in there today, like control the ring, work his jab, follow up with combinations.
Gentlemen, that all of Hickson's fights have gone the distance, and it'll be even more interesting to see if he can finish off a fighter like Morales, because all of his fights, every time he's lost, Morales he's lost via KO, especially his last one, lost in the first round. He's obviously going to want to come out and prove that he doesn't just lose by knockout.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see, if Hickson has some power here to finish him off as well.
Michelle, I understand exactly what you're saying, but Kevin Hickson does have power. He's got the power to knock guys out. Is the challenge that we're only seeing him for 4 rounds at a time? We haven't seen him in a longer fight yet, so there's not enough time to do that big damage?
Well, he's still learning, and I think that's good for him to be humble in the fights and not always look for the knockout. That can get you in a lot of trouble sometimes. So, he understands that getting that W round by round is what's working for him. So, if something's working, don't change it.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to a night of World Championship Boxing here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario. It is being brought to you by United Boxing Promotions in association with Title Fight Promotions, along with their great sponsors, Everlast, IFC Transport, and Tire Discounter. We get the action started with 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the light middleweight division, and our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Kelly Zolbierczak, William Boudhou, and Alan Davis, When the bell rings, our referee in charge, the third man in the ring, will be Mark Simmons. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing blue trunks and weighed in at 150 3/4 pounds. He brings a professional record of 8 wins, 3 defeats, with 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros de Ciudad Madero, Tamaulipas, México, presentando Eric El Brujo Mireles. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing black trunks trimmed in white and weighed in at 151 pounds. Hailing from Hamilton, Ontario, he is undefeated with 4 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Kevin Higgy Hickson.
There is in Kevin Hickson's corner is Bob Wilcox, and boy, what a trainer he has, what a stable of young fighters he has going on.
Yeah, his family, his whole family.
Step back, stop punching, protect yourself at all times. Shorts are good, anything below, touch gloves and love.
Sorry to cut you off there, Tibor.
Yeah, the Wilcox are a boxing family, and they've got a lot of experience, so Hickson should be, be confident having him in his corner.
Absolutely, and it served him well so far with a perfect 4-0 record. Here we go for round number 1 of this scheduled 6-rounder.
Good jab to the head and then to the body.
Hickson taking the brunt of the early blows from Mireles. Kevin Hickson has never been shy to take one and give one.
Yeah, I see he's working that jab right now. What's worked for him already in the fight is I've seen him use a feint or 2 and land that jab upstairs, downstairs, downstairs, upstairs. He needs to keep doing that. Using those fakes. Use the feints, use the jab. He's got a great jab.
Michelle, how much does Hickson have to fight his own fight to win this one?
I was just going to say, Doug, it seems as though, Mireles is getting him, sucked into the pocket, and then that's where he's taking the damage. So if you're Hickson, you want to stick to the outside a little bit because the only time he's hitting you is when you're inside.
Yes. His previous fights, Hickson, I know he's a good counter fighter to the body. He likes to go to the body. I'd like to see him do some of that sneaky stuff to the body there. You can see him throwing that right hand.
Nice job getting that right hand into the ribs.
Yeah, you know what? He's got a great jab. When he uses those feints, he keeps that little bit of distance between them. I think he could win the fight just on that alone.
He's got to be able to double up on that jab and then follow it up, though, either with the body or the head blow, Michelle.
Absolutely, and that's part of sticking to the outside too, right? I mean, he doesn't have to be all that fancy in this fight, like you said, Tibor, right? It's easy things that will be successful.
Keep the jab going, keep the feints going, keep the high and low going.
Good combination as he goes for the body 2 quick times. Runs for the right, then to the left. And now he's trying to come back. Hickson goes over top of the left.
There's that feint and that double jab there.
That jab got through as well. Nice left hook. Connects again with that left. Hickson starting to put some combinations together.
Shots, and then you can see that those hook to the heads are wide open, those lefts to the head are open for him, and he's landing them.
Yeah, once you get those hands dropping, it's a nice way to go back up top. look at Mireles in his corner. He's sort of bent over a little bit. You think those body shots may have taken a little bit of a toll.
I think so.
In the first round.
They were pretty sneaky.
Watch Kevin Hickson doubles up on the jab and comes over with the right. It's almost like Mireles didn't know how to counter that.
Yeah, and I believe that's from the feint. When he throws that feint right before he goes in with the jab, it's enough timing to let you, get in there and change it, do something else, and land your shot. I'd like to see Hickson do some more of those feints, use that double jab up and down.
Referee in the squared circle is Mark Simmons, a former fighter in his own right. There's a good shot from Hickson, then goes back down low to the stomach. Hickson doubles up on the jab and again connects. Mireles tries to make the comeback. Hickson again cuts through the punches. I think Kevin Hickson's found his game plan, Michelle.
Yeah, and you know what, when he is sticking into the pocket, the one thing that he keeps doing is his exit is always that left hook. He always takes a step with that left hook, and it's money, it's landing every single time.
You can see Hickson gaining more confidence every second in the fight here. He's landing more shots. He's bobbing and weaving, moving his head, looking to counter. He's doing a lot of damage to the Mexican right now.
Mireles gets that one through. Hickson keeps his man to the outside again, working it back to the middle of the ring. Hickson. You can hear Hickson's corner. Keep working the body. Keep working the body. It's still early on in this 6-round fight, only the second round, with 1:30 left here in the second. Nice job by Hickson to work it off the ropes, bring the fight back to the middle of the ring. Good combination. Michelle, every time we've seen Kevin Hickson, it's been almost like a Pier 4 brawl.
Yeah, you could tell, like in his eyes, he loves this. He loves this kind of thing.
He's putting it together pretty good.
And like you said, Tibor, he's getting more and more confidence as he's, he's just throwing more combinations. His head movement is just so much more smooth.
He's figuring out what punches he can throw and
Yes.
get away with and get in, get out, do his damage, and move along.
Well, Eric Morel, he's starting to slow down now too, and he's still standing in front of Hickson. He's got his hands up pretty decent, but is allowing Hickson to think in there and put it together and trick him.
You see Mireles throw that left hook and miss entirely over the top of the head. That'll take almost as much out of a fighter as one that connects.
Yeah, missing is not good.
That does it for round number 2. Kevin Hickson.
Well, gentlemen, I think you also hit it right on the head. It only seems as though Mireles has, one direction. It's literally forward or back. He doesn't have any angles.
No. He's not going side to side at all.
Nothing. And he's completely getting caught because he's just thinking he's gonna barrel over Hickson, and that's not obviously happening for him right now. So he needs to come up with a way to move and utilize some angles and maybe some head movement too, because nothing's really happening right now for Mireles.
There's a shot from Hickson, that right hand, that straight right coming over the top, and he's able to connect on that, Tibor, almost at will in the latter half of that second round.
He's looking sharp, Hickson, slipping the jab, coming back with the right hand over top. It's just one shot, though. It's just one shot. Hickson's got to put on a little more together if he wants to get him out of there.
Yeah, we're only 2 rounds through 2 rounds, now into the third of this scheduled 6-round fight. That left connects from Hickson. Fighters tie up once again.
There's that feint before the jabs. Always gets him inside, easy.
Ellis puts together a good combination. Higson connects with that left hand while backing away. So he didn't get full power on that one, but was able to connect for the points. Nice job going to the body by Higson. Every time, Michelle, that it looks like Mireles wants to take that step forward and throw a punch or a combination, Higson's throwing that jab out there and connecting with
Yeah,
it.
exactly. He's doing, well, I mean, the jab can do so many things, right? It could be defensive, it could be offensive, and it tells you what your range is, right? So those are the main things of what your jab does, and he's utilizing it very well. Now he's just got to use some angles here to get out of a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's got to remember to use those feet, Higson. He's kind of standing there a little bit, wanting to exchange. I get it, he's a fighter. He likes to get in that gunfight.
Yeah, but one of the ways that Mireles is going to win this fight is if they stand and go toe-to-toe.
It's true. He's got to be careful, Higson. Stay smart.
It's the only shot he has of winning this fight, Mireles, really.
Yeah, if Higson continues to use his feet, he'll make him miss more, make it look a lot more one-sided. He's doing a great job nonetheless. Great performance so far.
You can see both tires definitely slowing down, though. Their footwork is, not obviously as crisp as it was in the first 2 rounds.
There's a good uppercut from Higson. Connects again with it. Ellis goes with the left hook, trying to catch him with that one, but Higson was fading away. Good combination. Comes back. Ellis bobbing and weaving, trying to get out of the way of the flurry of punches from Hamilton's Kevin Higson. Call saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Literally. A few more seconds and who knows if he would have been able to stay standing.
And that's what I mean. Higson, he's got great combinations. This guy is tough, though. He's just got to get him out of there and throw more.
Well, and it's, you could hear his corner yelling him, step back a little bit, because what was happening was he had him up against the ropes. He was teeing off on him a little bit, but at the same time wasn't really throwing with power, wasn't really hitting, all of his targets. There was, what I mean? He was still blocking.
There was no authority behind the punches.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
There's the nice uppercut from Kevin Higson, but here comes the beautiful punch. There's the left, and he catches him coming right back up with the big right before the round comes to a close.
Great shot, and follows it up with another 1-2 right after. Yeah, he's got to know that he's on the verge of maybe getting him out of there. Let's see what he does this round.
Higson, as we said, still has to keep the feet moving. We're through 3 rounds. I don't know about you guys, but I've got Higson winning all 3, 10-9 so far.
Yeah,
for sure.
The first round, in my opinion, was the closest of the 3.
you can hear Higson's corner, urging him for straight punches, because Mireles right now is coming with looping punches right now, just hooks, left and right hooks, that's about it. So if you go straight down the pipe, you're going to catch him like he did in the 3rd round.
The straight will usually, as long as the timing is good, the straight will always beat the hook. Yeah, he's moving back a little bit, Hicks. He's coming kind of back on a straight line. If he uses a little more angles, he might be able to put himself in a position to throw more combinations.
1:40 left here in the 4th round. Nice job by Hickson. Connects on 2 quick ones. Got him up against the ropes. Little mouse on the left eye. Morales is cut. That mouse is now opened up.
Yeah, his left eye has got a nice cut. He's got a nice cut there.
Hickson doing a great job connecting, pretty much at will right now. That was a nice uppercut. Morales hanging on, trying to get through round number 4, the final minute of round number 4.
A minute's a long time when you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, we've seen guys with Michelle, we've seen guys with 10, 12 seconds left in a round that don't survive it.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like an eternity when you're in there. I can't believe the amount of punishment Mireles is able to take.
He's game, though.
Yeah.
Like he said to me yesterday at the weigh-in, he came to fight. He doesn't come to lose. He comes to put on a show, and he comes to fight.
See, he's just kind of standing there with his hands up, giving Hickson time to methodically put something together. He's going to land something. Might not be the first one, it'll probably be the second or third.
Well, absolutely, and he's just showing him the target, basically.
Final 10 seconds of the 4th round. Hickson connects with 2 big punches along the ropes. Kevin Hickson has to be very careful, Michelle, because the 2 are coming very close with the heads, and an accidental headbutt could cost him this fight.
Yeah, absolutely, and he already got warning from the referee just a little bit about, you know, making sure that the headbutts don't happen, and a few times he punched him behind the head as well, at the back of the head. So those are a few things that he definitely needs to watch out for. But at the same time, Tibor, how do you stop that when, you know, your opponent obviously is getting beat up and they're just ducking and finding a way to catch their breath? How do you stop that?
Yeah, it's hard, you know, hard to avoid that stuff. Guys gonna turn their heads or turtle as you're throwing punches. You know, all you can do is just continue to throw punches, maybe go to the body. When he starts turning his head, what I would do is I'd start going to the body. You can't turn his body away like you can turn your head away.
Well, and the thing with that, though, is that you have to take a step and be on an angle in order to make that connection to the body, because you can't do it straight on.
There's got to be a little bit of space there, for sure.
Here, Hickson's corner saying, Kevin, keep it smart. They know he's well ahead. Tibor, how hard is it for a fighter when you know you're that far ahead to sort of choose a lower gear and get through the final 2 rounds?
You know, it gives you a little time to think and be calm and cool in there. Put the punches together and think about more of the stuff that you hadn't done in the first few rounds. And I think Hickson's going to do that. He's going to fight smarter these next 2 rounds. I got a feeling he's going to stop him.
I think that's exactly what he's pressing for, but at the same time, you can't put yourself in a vulnerable situation just because you want to get that KO or that TKO. And knowing that your opponent is so susceptible to TKOs, you know, all his losses have come via KO. So you know it's possible, and you want to do that. You haven't done that in your career. That could be a recipe for disaster too, right?
Is it a matter of personal pride, though, for a fighter to have that KO beside his record, even though he's a perfect 4-0? He does not have the knockout so far.
Morales.
No, Kevin Hickson, he's 4-0 with no knockouts.
Right.
How important is that in his own mind to have that 1 KO next to his record?
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's too important. It's still early in his career. Like I said, he's playing it smart. He's looking for the W. If it comes, it comes.
There's a huge uppercut from Hickson. Buck 10 left here in the 5th round. Boy, Morales shows he can really take a punch.
They definitely make him tough in Mexico.
Another big combination from Hickson. He's trying to put this one away in this, the 5th round. Catches Morales with that one. Morales bobbing and waiting, trying to work off the last 40 seconds of the 5th round.
You know, and one thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about when it comes to boxing, when you're on defense all the time, it is so tiring, you know, and it's mentally draining, it's physically draining, getting your butt kicked.
Yeah.
Well, you can see Morales' hand starting to drop a little bit.
Absolutely, but I mean, even when he has the opportunity to come in with some offense, he's not doing all that much other than that left hand right there.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to handle Hickson anymore right now. He's one step behind in the chess match, and I don't think he's going to be able to turn it around.
Well, he needs a knockout to win this fight, that's for sure, because the 5th round is now in the books. And through 5 rounds, I've got Kevin Hickson a 10-9 winner of every round thus far.
I agree.
Absolutely, that's what I have too.
Boy, you really see on the slow motion replays the power that Kevin Hickson is showing here in the squared circle.
Well, I think we're seeing it right in front of us too, Doug. A few, you know, pieces of Vaseline have been flying our way, some saliva.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't call it the hurt business for nothing.
Fight fans, let's cheer these two combatants on. This is the 6th and final round.
6th and final round, here we go. Kevin Hickson looking to extend his perfect record to 5-0 if he can get through this round. Nice double up on the jab. Good way to split the gloves and come through with the overhand right. Hamilton contingent on hand, chanting Hickson.
Nice inside combination.
Just missed with that overhand right. Goes to the body. Morales now just flailing away, trying to stay in this fight for the next 1 minute and 55 seconds. Nice job by Hickson to work that off the ropes. I think with a double jab and a straight right, that might do it.
You know what I think he needs to do is I think he needs to not load up on the first 2 or 3, maybe load up on the 4th and 5th. If he can throw a couple more light shots and just set up that 4th and 5th shot better, I really think he could get Morales out of there, maybe drop him, hurt him pretty bad.
Well, he's got 1 minute and 15 seconds in the last round to be able to do that. He caught him with a right. Morales comes right back. Hickson works off the ropes, trying to push Morales back to the middle of the ring. Morales bleeding from the mouth now as well. They're taking a point away from Kevin Hickson for hitting to the back of the head.
A couple rabbit shots. I saw him.
Hickson keeps Morales moving to the middle of the ring. Tries to double up on the punches and gets him working him against the ropes. Morales tries to tie him up. Hickson trying to push him on. Final 10 seconds of the final round. Hickson steps over that one, catches him with a left. Morales back to the middle of the ring. That should do it for the final round here in the opening fight of our bouts.
Gentlemen, I have to say that I'm impressed with Morales and the fact that he was in there toe-to-toe the entire time. I mean, offensively, he couldn't really get a lot off because Hickson was so busy the entire time. All he did was, work him. But the fact that he's still on his feet, he still threw some combinations in that 6th and final round. I'm flabbergasted that he's still standing.
Super tough.
By taking the point away, you got to give Morales maybe that 6th and final round.
Yeah, I would even call it a draw, giving them that round. I mean, I still don't think that Morales did enough to show that he won the round. That he won the round.
I agree.
Call it a 9-9 round.
Well, Kevin Hickson, by our count, will most definitely move his record to 5-0, a perfect record. Still looking for that elusive knockout. Hickson did everything in his power, though, Michelle, to try to get that KO or TKO.
And you could tell, too, even in that last round, he kind of, really pressed forward more. So it almost looked like he was skipping forward a few times. I agree with Tibor. You don't need a KO on your record in order to
especially this early in your career.
Yeah, in order for you to still be a really good boxer, right?
Successful, yeah. You don't need those KOs. Those are just,
But isn't it a pride thing? That's kind of what I was getting at. It's more that Kevin Hickson wants it, not that everybody else needs to see him have it.
Well, sure. It's like it's like having sprinkles on your ice cream. You know what I mean? It just makes it look all that much better. You know what I mean? Tastes that much better.
I love it. Time to go to the ring. Here's your ring announcer, Thomas Driver.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and all 3 judges, Kelly Zolnierczak, Martin Dalita, and Alan Davis, are all in agreement, scoring it exactly the same, 59-54, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated, Kevin Higgy Hickson.
Kevin Hickson was able to cut Eric Morales twice, once over the eye and once just inside the mouth. Keeps his record a perfect 5-0. Some final thoughts on this opening bout.
A good performance by Hickson. I think he still needs to learn how to set up his punches and combinations a little bit more to get guys out of there so he can start getting some of those KOs on his record.
We're coming back with more championship boxing. Shavar Henry and John Mercanti are up next. Back with championship boxing from the Hershey Center in Mississauga. Brought to you by United Boxing Promotions and Title Fight Promotions. Our first fight is in the books. Kevin Hickson goes to 5-0 from Hamilton, Ontario. The 25-year-old wins a unanimous decision, and he looked great as we recap this fight. Tibor, started off with you.
Yeah, he did look good. He put all his combinations together. He kind of admired his work a little bit and got hit with the counter shots after his combinations. But again, he landed his own and outworked him, put on a good show.
Michelle, after that first round where we thought that Kevin Hickson was a little shaky, he certainly turned it on from then in.
Absolutely. I think he went more to the game plan, which was utilizing that jab to get, inside, throw those quick combinations, get back to the outside, and make sure he doesn't take any damage, because in that first round, he was, in the pocket and taking a few shots that he really probably shouldn't have took.
A couple good exchanges there, yeah.
Oh, now time to go back to the ring. It's our second fight of the night. Mercanti and Henry. Let's go to the ring. Here's Thomas Driver.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, John the Tank Mercanti.
John Mercanti, 4-2 with 2 KOs, hailing from Brantford, Ontario. He's 27 at 5'10", is 197 pounds. So this is a cruiserweight division fight, and two young fighters that really are going to start figuring things out as time goes on. You'll see Mercani coming out of the back. As we await Mercani's arrival. And another former pro fighter in the squared circle will be calling this one.
Donovan Boucher, yeah. I love Donovan. Donovan's a good guy. I've known him for a while now. You know, he's a funny dude. Knows a lot about boxing.
You ever been in the ring with him?
You know what?
As a sparring partner?
Actually, I got a couple good stories with Donovan. We were in the Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe, that boxing movie, and me and him got to do some sparring in the background against each other, and it was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Here comes Mercani into the ring. Like I said, he's a big guy at 5'10". Very thick upstairs, Michelle.
Yeah, and you know, 2 of his 4 wins have come via KO, and his 2 losses have come via the knockout as well. When you're a fighter, Tibor, and you see a guy's record, I know it's just numbers on a page, but when you see something like that, does that give you a little bit of a glimpse of hope as well, and you know, give you maybe a little bit of a different game plan when you're in preparation for a fight?
Yeah, for me, in my experience, not really. I didn't really look at the records. You know, the records can be deceiving, but at the same time, you know, you got to stick to your game plan. Think about what you got to be doing and not what the other guy's got to be doing. If you can stick to that, then I think this fight's going to go a lot smoother for yourself.
Absolutely, and you look at the upper body of Mercani, and Mercani is called the Tank for a reason. Here's Thomas Driver.
And now let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner, Shar Joshua Henry.
Here comes Brampton's own Shavar Henry. We saw his pro debut. He was knocked down a couple of times, but I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and he said he learned thousands of things from that fight, and this will be a different one. He said being the first fight on the card last time in his pro debut was very unnerving to him.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, you know, even I was there and I watched the fight. They didn't look like very drastic bad knockdowns. He got up right away, you know, call them flash knockdowns again. A sign of just nerves. And, you know, again, I think he's right when he say he can learn from them. The guy's a great athlete. I've known him a little while, and I think he can turn it around.
Yeah, you know what, Doug, in that fight, when he did experience those knockdowns, he came back, and we almost thought that he could have pulled off that win against Lyndon Chambers because they really went toe-to-toe in those latter rounds.
And we looked at one of those knockdowns like it was almost a slip.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from him, though, he's definitely lost the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues with 4 rounds scheduled in the Cruiserweight division, and it is being brought to you by United Boxing Promotions in association with Title Fight Promotions, along with their great sponsors, Everlast, IFC Transport, and Tire Discounter. Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Kelly Zolmirchek, Martin Delita, and Alan Davis. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, the 3rd man in the ring, will be Donovan Boucher. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, he's wearing black trunks with white trim and weighed in at 197 pounds. Coming to us from Brantford, Ontario, he brings a professional record consisting of 4 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 2 of his 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John the Tank Mercani. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing red trunks with black trim and weighed in at 199.5 pounds. Hailing from Brampton, Ontario, his record consists of no wins and just one defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Joshua Henry.
All right, gentlemen, I want a pre-fight instruction in the changing room. I want a good, clean fight. Keep the punches above the waistline here. Waistline here. Watch the back of the head, guys. Let's have a good, clean fight. Good luck to both of you.
Yeah, they're ready. They're ready.
You think? You look at the gleam in both of their eyes.
I'm ready.
I love it.
This is scheduled for 4 rounds, our second fight of the evening in the Cruiserweight division. Here's Shavar Henry, and the tail of the tape, John Mercani on your left.
Two strong guys here throwing big punches. Don't blink. Ooh, big left.
Knocked it right down! Shavar Henry with a huge blow in the first round. A big knockout. Oh my! Mercani's not moving. Oh my!
Big
Now
left
that
hook. He
is
didn't
power.
see it.
Did not see that left hook coming.
No.
Gentlemen, I've never been so close to something like that.
Good shot.
It was a very good shot. I had the opportunity to see Shavar spar leading up to this fight. He looked very good, but I was not expecting this.
Well, I said it right.
I don't think a lot of people were expecting it, were they?
Well, you mentioned it right off the top, though, Michelle. Mercani's had 2 knockouts, and he's been knocked out twice. So Henry knew that one big blow could end this thing.
How about that, gentlemen? Your first professional win is a knockout like that, so quick, in the first round, in your backyard.
He's got to feel good about it. You know, his last fight was rocky and lost the fight, but this fight, he turned it around. Spectacular performance.
Did you notice a huge lift in confidence just watching him coming to the ring and the way the fight started?
It's good for him.
Let's take a look at that huge left again.
Great shot. Great shot. Looked like a little. Yeah. It's kind of like a little right uppercut, up shot, followed up by a left hook. Great combination.
And that left hook did not miss the mark whatsoever.
Boom. Good night.
Well, the good thing is that John Mercani is up, he's on his feet, and he's back in his corner. Let's go to the ring. Here's Thomas Driver.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 16 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by way of knockout, Joshua Henry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how's that for entertainment? One more round of applause for our hometown guy, Shavar Henry. Congratulations, Shavar. So, just a few months ago, we saw your pro debut against Lyndon Whitlock. You seemed a little bit disappointed leaving here without a win. What did you learn from that fight that you brought with you here tonight?
Man, I learned don't hold my head down and just go for it, you understand me? It took me a minute, you know, but my team, I trusted in my team, I trusted in my personal trainer, and you know, I believe in God, and you know, all things are possible.
Now, Mercanti has had a few losses, both of them via knockout. So did you know that coming in, that one big shot could maybe put the big guy down?
Yeah, his last knockout when he fought Milos, I used to spar with him. I have like rounds and rounds on top of rounds of sparring with Milo. So I watched the tape, I see, you know, and I just came in here and did what I had to do.
Finally, how does it feel to have your first professional win via knockout right here in front of family and friends?
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, congratulations again. A fantastic victory for Shamar Henry, everybody.
Tibor, give me a couple of thoughts on this knockout again. It happened so quickly. Just 16 seconds into the opening round, and a nice combination put together.
Yeah, I saw that it was a right uppercut, left hook. If you look at the replay, when it comes, Shivari was a lot more tighter. His combination was more tighter than his opponent's, and that's why it landed better. The guy with the tighter, shorter distance between the two, he's gonna land a better shot.
Let's go to break, and we're coming back with our third fight of the night. It's Alexander and Cronin. Stay with us, more of championship box to come. Let's look at that knockout one more time.
Alexander. 175 pounds.
Welcome back to Championship Boxing. Our third fight of the night is another 4-rounder. Jason Alexander, Tim Cronin going head-to-head. Two guys who hail from Ontario. Time to go to the ring. Here's Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, Jason Hard Knocks Alexander.
We await the arrival of Jason Alexander. At 37, he stands 5'9", hailing from Orangeville, Ontario. He's 0-1 in his professional career.
His trainers aren't Kramer and Jerry, right?
Jerry.
Joking, that's a little bit of fun.
He goes by the nickname of Hard Knocks. Alexander weighed in at 174 pounds. It could have come in as high as 175. There we get a good look at Hard Knocks, Jason Alexander. Another man that started in the fight game a little bit late in his career. 37 years of age, and he's 0-1.
Yeah, it's tough when you start in this sport late. It's more of a young man's sport. But I ain't taking anything away from him.
Absolutely not. This is a rematch between him and Tim Cronin. Back to the ring, here's Thomas
And
Schreiber.
now let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner, Tim the Irish Cronin.
Now we've had the pleasure of seeing Tim Cronin on a number of occasions, including the last time we were all together here at the Hershey Center, and the Irishman puts on a great show.
Including his entrance.
Yes, including his entrance. Flags from everywhere. This is the light heavyweight division. Cronin at 2-1, hails from Belleville, Ontario. He weighed in at 171.5 pounds. Etobicoke, Ontario on our screen, but having talked with him yesterday, he says, no, I'm in Belleville now, and that's where I want to be known as.
Tibor, as a fighter, preparing for this fight, especially a guy like Jason Alexander, your only fight professionally has been against the same guy. You lose a unanimous decision. How do you prepare mentally for him without getting anger in the way?
Well, they have videotapes to look at. And they study those. I mean, I'm sure he can come up. There's always a formula. It's the sweet science. There's a way of beating every guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues with 4 rounds scheduled in the light heavyweight division. It is being brought to you by United Boxing Promotions in association with Title Fight Promotions, along with their great sponsors, Everlast, IFC Transport, and Tire Discounter. Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Kelly Zolnierczak, Martin Dalita, and Alan Davis. Our referee in charge will be Donovan Boucher. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, he's wearing black trunks with silver and white and weighed in at 174 pounds. He brings a professional record of no wins and just 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, from Orangeville, Ontario, please welcome Jason Hard Knocks Alexander. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing white with green and orange and weighed in at 171.5 pounds. Hailing from Toronto, Ontario, he is representing the Cabbagetown Boxing Club, and he has a professional record consisting of 2 wins and just 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Tim, the Irish Cronin.
Got to ask you, Tibor, this is a rematch between these 2 guys, and you usually see early on in a career, once you beat someone, you don't give them a rematch this quickly.
Yeah, they're both starting off and learning. They need to settle the score.
Keep the punches above the waistline here. Here is good.
Very seldom, though, you see this.
That's true.
The back of the head. All right, so no. All right, I want a good clean fight, gentlemen. Just move up a little bit. Put your trunks down. All right, good. It's down a little bit. Put the cup down. Okay. All right, that's good. Good. All right, gentlemen. It's good luck to both of you.
There's the tail of the tape between Alexander and Cronin. 30 and 37 years of age, respectively. Both came in today at the official weigh-in at 175 pounds. Good to see Donovan Boucher back in the middle of the ring. I guess that 16-second first fight he did really wasn't enough to earn a paycheck.
Cronin, obviously being the longer fighter, you want to stick to the outside, and he can tee off on Alexander from where he is.
Alexander's going to have to use his muscle and really just push him around the ring. He's got to cut Cronin off from moving.
I'd like to see him just, get that jab up by his chin and throw it out straight, kind of get himself closer to Cronin.
He's got a bit of a loop in his punching style, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. He's the shorter guy already. You don't want to make his punches even more shorter than they already are by throwing wide, loopy shots. He wants to get a little bit closer to Cronin and then let those shots go. There's a good jab to the body. There's another one, another good stab. More jabs I'd like to see.
Yeah, you got to throw more punches. Cronin's got to keep out of the way and not get tangled up with him, Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the corner does not serve him well. Use your footwork, stay on the outside. And, you know, I find Alexander doesn't exactly have, you know, his hands aren't in a traditional boxing stance. He's got really wide elbows.
Yeah, he's got him flared out a little bit. Cronin might want to take that, you know, look to go to the body a little bit underneath those elbows.
And he did so right there, then goes back up top. Early on in the career of both these fighters, especially in their pro career, do they tend to go more for the head than they should?
Yeah, you don't want to, you know, that could be developed from an amateur background that you might have. You know, amateurs tend to go and headhunt a lot. Good pros, though, know how to mix it up.
Absolutely.
Body, head, body.
You know, I was just going to say, I think, you know, when you're an amateur, you're just, I don't know if maybe it's all that like pent up aggression and anxiety. You always seem to just go there, and that's the only thing you see is the head shots. You don't see those body shots, and it's, you know, you become a seasoned fighter when you do see those openings down low and you go for them, because you can get knocked out pretty hard with a good body shot.
Well, the judges obviously see the head shots more clear than the body shots, and I don't want to take anything away from the amateur fighters, because I know many, many good amateur fighters that have helped me get ready for fights. They're skilled, they keep you honest.
But a good body shot, like Michelle said, can do just as much damage and can hurt just as much. You get a guy in the liver or the kidneys, and that can do just as much damage, but maybe not in a 4-round fight. Is that what they're thinking?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You know, a body shot, if it's landed right, the timing is good. A lot of guys will drop right then and there. But you know, if you can suck it up, yeah, 4 rounds might not be enough. Might not be enough.
I guess too, it depends on your opponent and their stature and all that as well, because, you know, just from appearances, you would assume a guy like Alexander, you know, he's shorter, stockier, thicker, he could take, you know, a well-placed body shot. But hey, you never know. That's the beauty of boxing.
Cronin comes out of the corner. Alexander wearing the black trimmed in white. Good flurry from Alexander. Cronin backed against the ropes right in front of us. Referee Donovan Boucher sending the fighters back at it in the middle of the ring.
Tibor, I'm noticing 2 things about Alexander. He's doing what he has to do to be successful, which is essentially bull rushing Cronin and making him go back on his heels and literally only move backwards without any angles. But he's also doing that with his chin up in the air.
you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. I was going to say, when he throws punches, his chin is up in the air a little bit. His shoulders are a little bit low. He's very susceptible to getting
leaning
hit
forward
right back.
too.
Yeah, and he's very square also.
Cronin goes down to the body for the 2nd time in a row. Alexander, the busier of the 2 fighters here in the 2nd round. Certainly is throwing more punches. How effective they are, we'll have to wait and see.
But you know what? When you're scoring a fight like this, right now Alexander's completely controlling the ring.
He's controlling this round.
Where it's going.
But I gotta believe that those big looping punches are gonna catch up to him. Maybe not tonight, but they will catch up to him in his career. There's an overhand right from Cronin. Cronin gets on his horse, going back to left, back to the right. Stabs his way out of trouble in the corner. Back pedals to the middle of the ring. Alexander trying to stalk his prey.
I was just gonna say, Cronin needs to get busy now. You know? Yeah, he's not doing enough right now. He's not doing anything other than trying to get out of the way.
He's really let this second round slip away.
Absolutely. I even find that Alexander's blocking style is more like a Thai boxing style, where, you know, he's, you know, catching and parrying instead of, you know, with the tight hands, tight arms, and elbows in, and, you know, using, you know, head movement and everything. I don't see it from him. I don't see like a traditional boxing defense on him either.
Yeah, like I said,
he's getting away with it too.
He's a bit square, but you know, as he's getting closer to Cronin there, I do notice he's got his eyes fixed on Cronin pretty well. He is deflecting a few shots off his arms. I think he felt pretty good that round.
That's the kind of defense, though, you can get away with early in your career. But as you start to fight more accomplished fighters, that will certainly be something that they have to look into changing.
Well, you should hope so, right? And for a guy like Cronin, you know, we've seen him perform really well in this very ring here at the Hershey Center, and we've seen more out of him. Quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed right now through 2 rounds. We've seen him be always a busier fighter.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got it with 1 round apiece.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Oh,
Alexander connected with a nice shot. Missed with the overhand left. Cronin goes to the head, then goes back to the body. Interesting that we don't hear much from either corner.
yeah, you don't hear much, eh?
I think when you have a fight like this, obviously 2 very different styles of fighters, and you know, it's all about Alexander trying to cut off the ring for Cronin. I feel like no one's really pushing the pace right now. No one is taking advantage, and no one is dictating who has this fight. One of these guys could really take a hold of this fight and go with it. Well, and I feel like no one's doing that.
Last round, Alexander did that, but he hasn't been able to stay with it here in the 3rd round.
Yeah. It's almost as if the sizing up is still happening, but we're in the 3rd round, though.
Of a 4-round fight.
That's right. We don't have time for it. You can hear Alexander's corner basically getting on him now to be more busy and to throw more punches, because both of them have been a little bit more stagnant in this 3rd.
Yeah, they hadn't been happy with the 2nd round, Tibor, but this 3rd round, he hasn't looked half of what. It's almost like the 2nd round took everything he had out of him.
Yeah, I think he looks okay still. He's still doing some things. He's very aware of what's going on in there. The fight was a little bit standoffish in the beginning there, but they're wearing it out. Cronin's timing looks a little bit off tonight.
Yeah, it does. He paused at the left. Cronin comes through with the jab.
Yeah, you see Cronin, he's moving him back now a little bit.
The hands of Alexander are starting to drop a little bit. Alexander gets caught with that overhand, trying to come in. Cronin follows up again.
Very ironic, too, that the bigger fighter is throwing an overhand. It's usually the other way around, the smaller fighter throwing an overhand right to try to catch the bigger fighter.
Little mouse under the left eye of Jason Alexander.
That last round was pretty hard to score. I give it to Cronin though, just because he kept busy at the end.
Yeah.
That last minute or so won him that round. Otherwise,
but he also connected on the punches with a little more authority than what Alexander was putting up.
Oh yeah, good round for Cronin.
Tibor, you can really see what you were talking about with both fighters almost look a little bit out of sorts, a little bit off pace.
Well, we were saying, two very different styles. Their timing looks a little bit off to me.
Let's cheer these two combatants on. This is the 4th and final round.
Fourth and final round for these two fighters in their rematch. Cronin took the first fight. Cronin, 2 nice jabs. Alexander tries to go down to the bottom, and Cronin comes right back.
Cronin actually throwing literally straight down the pipe, straight punches, which is probably what he should have been doing for a while.
And they're connecting too. That one right there was a beautiful jab. Nice with the left. Tries to go down low. Seems now Alexander trying to come inside. He's getting caught with punches, Tibor.
Yeah, he's trying to move forward, Alexander, but he's not effective as he was earlier in the fight. And Cronin's got a little more time and space to set him up and throw those shots down the pipe. He's working that jab pretty good now.
It is working well.
That's what he needs to do. Nothing.
That was all leather. Cronin throws the uppercut.
What I'd like to see from Cronin is some fake and go, feinting him a little bit. Use that jab.
Good combination coming from Alexander. Both of those connecting. He has Cronin a little bit dazed, but Cronin moves out of the way. Alexander pushes his man against the ropes, trying to keep him in the corner. He caught Cronin on that one as well. Cronin ducks his way out of trouble. Again, Alexander tallying up the points, connecting on the jab. 1:10 left here in the 4th and final round. Under a minute to go. Cronin, nice job to get the right in there. Alexander pins him against the ropes. Donovan Boucher is going to let them work their way off the ropes, and Cronin gets back to the middle of the ring. Nice job going to the body from Cronin. Alexander misses over top. Missed on the uppercut. Looks like an active fighter, but he's certainly not connecting very often.
No, he looks like he's running out of gas.
Wild right from Cronin over the top of the head. There's a good jab coming. Cronin steps back in with a combination.
There's a feint there before that combination.
Oh, just missed with the uppercut. Connects with the right, and the 4th round comes to a close in this 4-round rematch.
Tibor, can I ask your opinion on something?
Yes.
When a fight's kind of like that, a little bit of a stalemate and nothing's really going for either fighter, would you ever switch your stance? Give him something different to look at, and then you attack with something different, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of great fighters. There's been a lot of great fighters in the past that are known for switching stances, and they've proven that it can be very effective. Marvin Hagler switched stance all the time. In my opinion, my pro career, I never really switched up too much, so it was not something I thought about too often. No.
There you see Tim Cronin with a couple of connections right there. Just missed and took one right back from Jason Alexander. I don't know about you guys, I got it 39-37 for Cronin and winning this one.
I agree, I give it to Cronin.
Michelle?
I agree too. I mean,
This is not good. We're always agreeing.
I know, but you know what, though? You never know. The last one was a unanimous decision. This one could be a split, possibly.
Yeah, could be a draw. You never know.
That's one thing that I think we wanted to learn about the Higson fight. You never want to leave it to the judges' hands, but...
Here's Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Martin Daley scores it 39-37, and both judges Kelly Zolnierczak and Alan Davis score it the same 40-36, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Tim the Irish Cronin.
Michelle, some quick thoughts on that fight.
And ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause
I
for
thought
Jason
Cronin could have been a little bit more
Alexander.
busy too. We've seen him perform well. Like Tibor said, I'm in agreement that both fighters didn't really look like they were on their game, which seems to happen. But you know what, though? A very valiant performance by Jason Alexander.
Tibor, some final quick thoughts. One word.
Cronin deserved it. Put the stuff together well.
Absolutely. I had it 39-37, a unanimous decision for Tim Cronin. Our next fight is the co-main event, an 8-rounder, as Steve the Silent Franchik is back in the ring in the light heavyweight division. He's 12-0 with 7 knockouts, and he'll take on Alvaro Gaona. Championship boxing. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Steve Franchik, fighting from Orangeville, Ontario. This is my 14th professional fight. My first pro fight, I was lucky enough to have it in front of my hometown fans and everyone, so that was great. Fight went well. I won a second round TKO over Horace Hunter, and couldn't have been happier with it. You know, I've never been a huge one-punch knockout artist or anything, but I think I put my punches together pretty well with decent power, and wear guys down. I keep hitting them, and eventually they can't stand it anymore. You know, growing up, I was kind of putting on a few pounds, and my family owned a family restaurant, so I was eating a lot of junk, and so I joined the gym just to kind of get in shape, and then stuck with it from there. My coach, Brian Mackey, started me from the first day in the gym, you know, and he's taught me everything I know, and we've been together since, every day working, and he's the best man for the job. I like he has the experience. He's been there. He's been in the ring with like best pro fighters in the world, and so I can learn like a lot of experience from him. Also, you know, we have a good chemistry in the ring. I can listen for him. He tells me exactly what to do, and I just execute. Yeah, I had 140 amateur fights. I was on the national team for 2 years, and then once we went pro. I found the pro style was more suitable for my boxing style. A lot of guys were outpointing me in the amateur, especially in the international system. So pro was the way to go, and done pretty well so far. I think I'd like to kind of model myself after Miguel Cotto's style, or early Miguel Cotto. He was always a little bit of pressure, always walking guys down, banging the body hard, and wearing guys down towards the end of the fights, scoring big knockouts. I didn't really know Cotto. He wasn't very big when I started boxing, but when I did start, I was a big De La Hoya fan, Tito Trinidad, guys like that, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. Those fights were big when I just started boxing, so they kind of stayed with me. Yeah. None of my family was ever involved until I got started. And once I joined the gym and started having a bit of success, my brother joined. So now it's all our family talks about, just boxing all the time. It was great. Dropped down in weight, which was a bit difficult, but it got the win. It was a good fight, and to hold the title, it's just like such an honor. Went 10 rounds, went the distance, and the opponent, Gary Kopis, was there every step of the way. He made it a really tough fight, and I had to dig down deep in the last few rounds to secure the win. I had a lot of my fights out west in Edmonton, simply because we weren't getting fights locally, so it was just a business decision, and you know, I'm thankful they put me on out there, and I had a great time. But I'm glad to be back here, and look forward to putting on a show for everyone locally. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. Huge main event, and I'm just so fortunate to be the co-main event on such a good card, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, Alvaro La Cobra Gaona.
Well, Alvaro Gaona, known as La Cobra, 12-4 with 8 KOs at 29 years of age. This Mexican fighter stands 6 foot tall, so you know he's got knockout power in his 12 wins. 8 of them would come via the knockout. By the nickname La Cobra, so you know that he's going to be one of those sneaky quick guys.
And now let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner, Silent Steve Fringin.
You know, he goes by the nickname Silent Steve, but it's not because he's not a man of, he is a man of few words, but that's not the reason. It's because he's silent and deadly in the ring.
Yeah, I know Frangic for a while too. He's a calm, cool, collected guy, nice guy, but the boy can fight.
Yeah, he likes to say that his fists do the talking, right?
Yeah, and now he's a full 3 inches taller than his opponent here tonight. That means arm length will come into it as well.
Oh yeah.
And it's a really nice story too, you know, a pudgy kid goes into the gym looking to shed some pounds. His dad always knew, you know, that he'd be a great athlete, and he pretty much is a gym rat, doesn't want to leave. And Coach Brian Mackey has to like literally kick him out of the gym sometimes because he is that dedicated.
And it's nice to learn from a guy like Brian Mackey, who's been around the fight game pretty much for the last 20 years.
Mackey's a great guy, yeah. I've helped Mackey get ready for some fights in the past, and just have a ton of fun working with the guy.
And the guy that knows what it's like to be on a big stage as well. He's fought in Vegas.
Oh yeah, he's been in some great fights.
You know, Gaona, though, we can't exactly count him out just yet. He has a lot of accolades to his credit. In 2010, he won the vacant WBC figure box middleweight title. In 2012, he won the WBC Mundo Hispano middleweight title. So he's got a few accolades to his name. We can't exactly just hand it to Frangic just yet.
No, we're not doing that, that's for sure. Frangic at 12-0-1 draw. Really comes in with a nice record, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our co-main event. It is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing in the light heavyweight division. Brought to you by United Boxing Promotions in association with Title Fight Promotions and their great sponsor, Tire Discounter. Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Kelly Zolmierczak, Harry Davis, and Alan Davis. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, the 3rd man in the ring, will be Rocky Zolmierczak. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, he's wearing red with white and weighed in at 174.5 pounds. He brings a professional record of 12 wins, 4 defeats, with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Reynosa, Tamaulipas, México, presentando al lado la Cobra Gaona. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing orange with black and white and weighed in at 174 pounds. Hailing from Orangeville, Ontario, he is undefeated with 12 wins. One draw with 7 of his 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Silent Steve Fringin.
Fighters, Chief Second. Okay, I went over the instructions in the change rooms. I expect you to obey my commands, touch up, come out banging.
There's the tail of the tape between these two fighters, and one of the things that you don't see on there that we will see during the fight is the reach advantage of Steve Fringin. Here we go, round number 1 of a scheduled 8-rounder. Gaona wearing the red trimmed in white, Fringin in the orange trimmed in black and white. Good body shot coming from Fringin. Boy, Gaona really holds his hands low.
And he's all right being cornered this early in the fight, literally.
Throws a couple of good body shots. Gaona comes up with the jab to get Fringin backpedaling just a slight tad so he can come out of trouble. He hits on that left hook. Fringin again going to the body, over the top to the head. Fringin connects again. Gaona really playing on the ropes. It's a dangerous game to be playing.
Taking his time, looks very relaxed, looking good, feeling this guy out.
Very measured, Michelle, in the way he's punching.
Absolutely, and I think part of that comfort and confidence is coming from the fact that he's already controlling the ring, backing him down, and, you know, cutting the ring off really effectively.
Big looping left hand, now a looping right coming from Gaona. Boy, he's missed with a couple of hooks by more than a few inches.
Yeah, you know, Gaona, he looks really awkward. He doesn't look very comfortable in there right now. I even see him turtling a little bit as shots are coming. It's not looking too good for him right now, but it's only the first round.
Fringin looking to put this one away in the first round with a good flurry. Then goes over the top, catches him with the left right on the butt.
Good hook. He didn't like it. He didn't like that.
Good straight left. Final 10 seconds of this, the first round. Fringin. Any doubt on that first round? Oh my.
Good round for Fringin. Gaona, you know, you see while he's throwing his shots, he's not very confident while he's throwing the shots. He's kind of throwing it, and you know, he's already worried about what's coming. He's not on his game. He's not sure of himself.
Michelle, he's not throwing it with a purpose.
The other thing, really, that I'm noticing is that it's just one one singular shot all the time, and it's always just a hook, a left hook, a right hook, that's it. When you're throwing just singular looping punches, you're not setting them up.
Right.
Franjic, when he's catching him with hooks, it's because he's already thrown 3-4 punches to the head, to the body, and then finishes the combo off with a hook.
Here's Steve Franjic connecting with that big right hand, setting up a flurry, then the left hook, and both guys land, but Franjic's the one that really hit the button.
Guyona, he just looks very predictable, and that's a dangerous.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah,
Predictable.
very predictable. And don't get me wrong, and Steve is looking at those mannerisms I was talking about him turtling away, him throwing the shot, kind of, he's throwing it, but he's not really throwing it. He does not have confidence while he's throwing it. Steve's going to see all that. It's just going to make him more dangerous.
Is there such a term, Michelle, as his defense is the only reason he's throwing punches? Like offensively defensive?
Well, as I was saying in a couple of those other bouts, you get tired from being on defense too. And literally this is all he's got is those like looping punches.
This could be a short night if that's all he has.
Yeah, I don't, just judging by what he's showing in there right now, he's bending over, taking shots. I think Steve can get him out of there.
One thing you've got to remember, though, Gauno has knockout power. He's got 8 KOs to his credit, so you know what? Franjic has to be careful and sit a little respective of that power.
Oh, you got to always have respect for your opponent there.
But like you said, too, Tibor, it becomes a little bit predictable when maybe most of the power is coming from just the hooks.
Yeah.
In harm's way by ducking into those punches.
I was just going to say, when he bends over like that, doesn't bend his legs, he bends over, folds over like that, it's a dangerous position to be in. That's when Franjic should be looking to put something together, go to that body, step around and maybe give a different angle, and then let something go again.
Just teeing off right now in the corner. Seconds left in the second round. Franjic connects with a nice combination. Set up that right with a nice left jab.
Tibor, how frustrating is that? That, you literally setting up your opponent for those combinations, 4 or 5 other punches, but all he's doing is literally turtling and bending over into them, and you can't get them off cleanly because he's just going to clutch and grab all the time.
Yeah, he's definitely awkward, but
it's like you said, that's when he has to look for a different way in. Maybe step around, maybe
that's
go,
right.
Give
himself a little bit more space, Franjic. Maybe throw a little bit of feints in there. Try and get him to fall over a little bit, and then look for that clean shot. I always talk about the feints because I just know that they're so effective in there.
I think Steve Franjic, Michelle, now knows that he can hit him at will, and it's just a matter of how long he's going to last.
Absolutely. Completely in agreement. And you could see, too, when he's defending, he knows where these punches are coming.
The replay pack, call.
Nice jab. Franjic again has his man backed into the corner. You got to believe Gaona can't like being in the corner. up. Gaona comes with the overhand right. Can't step through as Franchuk ties him up. We talked about arm length, Tibor, and it's really shown in the first 2 rounds for Steve Franchuk. He's been able to keep Gaona really at bay.
Yeah, well, you know what he's doing right too, Franchuk? He's throwing nice straight shots, which is making his shots, you know, he's using the full potential to the length he can get. Gaona, he's throwing a little loopy shots, and it's making his shots smaller. Shorter, sorry.
And less force behind them too when you loop your punches like that.
Yeah, he's standing square, he's kind of folding over like that. Good lead left hook by Franchuk. Good body shot.
Franchuk goes down. There we talk about the power of Gaona. Franchuk.
Yeah, he's gonna get up. No. Oh my God. It's over.
It is over in the 3rd round. Gaona with a big knockout victory.
He hit him with a right hand right behind the ear. Dangerous, vital spot. You can't get hit there.
I told you, you've got to be respectful of a guy with 8 knockouts in his 12 or 13 wins.
Wow.
Second time tonight, we haven't seen it coming.
It's a good shot.
And just when you thought Steve Franchuk was in total control of this fight, we said it in round 1. Watch out, because Gaona can punch, and he came through, Tibor.
That's boxing, man.
So unfortunately for Franchuk, he suffers his first loss in the same arena where he made his pro debut.
Wow. Steve Silent Franchuk was turned silent by Alvaro Gaona of Mexico. A huge blow in the 3rd round. You know, we didn't see that coming, Tibor, but you could have kind of predicted something of that way, that 1-punch knockout, simply because that's all Gaona really had going for him.
Well, Gaona, he's awkward, and he's throwing punches. He's not really...
Well, take a look at this one more time. At least one more time. There's the overhand right, and down goes Franchuk. He just did not see it coming. You hit the nail on the head, Tibor. He caught him right in the perfect spot.
Hey, you know, Franchuk saw the right hand coming, I believe. Watch, he sees the right hand coming. He kind of turtles away, and I'm not sure how it hurt him so bad. I mean, it's unfortunate. What an upset.
But if you catch a guy in the perfect spot, Michelle, it doesn't matter who you are, that's going to drop you.
You're going down. It went in between. He had his hands up, and he was, like you said, he thought he saw it coming, and it went in between his glove and his head, right on the button.
I thought it hit him behind the ear, but it hit him right on the top of the forehead there.
Right in the temple almost. Yep. So a huge knockout for Alvaro Gaona of Mexico over Steve Franchuk. Let's go to the ring. Here's Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 1 minute, 55 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by way of technical knockout, de Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico, Alvaro La Cobra Gaona.
A huge upset. Let's take a look at this at full speed one more time, and we'll let the action dictate as to what you can hear.
Now watch the replay. In that replay, I wanted to see it slow motion. If you watch it, you see Franchuk, he turns his head last second. He sees the right hand coming, but he doesn't Here it comes. Watch the replay. Watch Franchik kind of turn his head.
Doesn't get his glove up far enough.
He's got his gloves up, but he takes his eyes off the shot, and he thinks it's coming around the side, but what happens is it comes right in front, hits him in the forehead. He knew the right hand was coming, but he didn't know where it was going because he took his eyes off the shot. You got to keep your eyes on that shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even when you're blocking, both hands up, and with that style, you know, we saw Jason Alexander blocking with a different style, more of a catch and a parry. When you do this kind of blocking, you still have to keep your eyes on your opponent.
Absolutely.
And where the shots are coming from.
Up next is our main event, the WBA Interim Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Dangerous Denton Daley and Youri El Toro Kalenga. They're going head to head. Stay with us. More on Championship Boxing. The best is yet to come.
Wow. It's not good for
You only get one shot at making boxing history. And this is my shot. Like Eric Thomas said, you have to sacrifice who you are for what you will become. This is it. I'm ready.
Former Canadian champion and heavyweight legend George Chuvalo in the house, and I'll tell you, the stars are out here in Mississauga tonight. This is a huge night. The WBA interim championship fight is tonight in the Cruiserweight division. Dangerous Denton Daley from Brampton. We talked about this, guys. We talked about this off the top of the show. This is a huge night for fights in Canada and not just in this neighborhood.
Big deal, big exciting show we got here. Denton Daley, he's excited and pumped. He's got a big opportunity here tonight in front of his hometown.
Youri Kalenga coming over from France via the Congo, where he was originally born and raised. This is a big trip for him coming over here. He's been over here for the last little while, but boy, what a camp he's had as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doug, you know what? He's actually been here in Mississauga for about 2 weeks training at Huff Boxing as well. So it's not like, oh, he's dealing with the travel issues or anything, or being accustomed to time change, anything like that. All of that is very much behind him. And as we saw earlier in the show, he is very ready and very confident that he's coming away with this interim title.
And you know what? We talked about it in our last co-main event. Anything can happen, and we just saw that. So anything can happen in this world title fight tonight, Tibor.
Oh yeah, it's going to be exciting. No telling what could happen in this one.
When you're going for a title, and you fought for a title 3 times, you won a Canadian championship, what goes through your head the first time you get an opportunity like this?
Oh, it's everything in the world. Very exciting, a lot of pressure, and you can't have anything but confidence in yourself going into this opportunity because you know what you went through in the gym. It's your time. You got to say it's now or never.
Michelle, Youri Kalenga has 20 wins, 1 loss. His 1 loss came to a guy with a sub-500 record. He has 13 KOs, and almost all of them come within the first 3 rounds. Does that mean Denton Daley has to stay away from him in the early going and really stretch this out as far as he can?
If I were him, I would. And you know what? You mentioned the 1 loss for Kalenga. It was actually to a Latvian in Latvia via split decision. So you know that maybe the judges weren't on his side. So essentially, he could be, undefeated as well.
Well, all of our judges here today, since we've mentioned the judges, they're from the United States. There are no Canadian judges. There are no French judges. They're all from the United States, and of course, all sanctioned by the WBA. When you talk about Denton Daley, we've seen 11 of his 12 fights. I've done 11 of his 12 fights, and he seems to get better and better and better. You've seen him. You've been on cards with him. What do you see from him tonight?
I think he's learning. Like I was saying earlier, I think he should be using some side-to-side stuff as his opponent might come forward a little bit, looking a little square. But both guys are very, very strong. Got some good experience. He's out experienced as far as I know, and it's going to be a tough fight.
One of the few guys that Denton Daley's been in the ring with will be tonight. Kalenga can match him with hand speed. But can Daley's foot speed be the difference maker?
Well, we mentioned it off the top of the show. You know what? If you could stay to the outside, get some different angles, make the big man have to work and move, that's probably his best bet. And, we've seen him improve, like you said, in every single fight. And he is, your true professional athlete, professional boxer. So I'm excited to see what kind and what version of Denton Daley we're going to see tonight.
Well, that's what I wanted to get to, Tibor. How important is it for Denton Daley to fight the Denton Daley type of fight and not get sucked into a Youri Kalenga type of fight?
Yeah, he's got to stay calm and cool in front of his hometown.
Can't do too much.
No,
he's got to do what he can do.
It's a long fight. He's got lots of time. If I would take a step back and feel out his opponent and use that jab, keep some distance. They're both strong guys. There's no telling what could happen.
Let's take a look at the top 10 WBA interim rankings so far as we go to the board. There's Kalenga on top, your interim champion. The champion is Denis Lebedev of Russia. Now, he will be whoever wins this fight between Daley, your number 2, and Kalenga, the number 1 interim champion, will be a mandatory fight for Lebedev, and both those guys dearly want that fight because they both think they match up with Lebedev very well.
You know what? You're in this situation for a reason. And there's so much love lost, like you mentioned, too, between these two fighters.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how it's going to start out, because it might start out guns blazing, really knowing how much is on the line, how much is at stake, and how much they really dislike each other.
And that's been the MO for Youri Kalenga throughout his career. We talk about all his knockouts. They are pretty much coming in the first 3 rounds. He is El Toro for a reason. He is the bull. He's a guy that only has one gear, and that's fast and going forward.
Yeah, I know Denton Daley doesn't stand down to nobody,
No, he doesn't.
It could be a train wreck, could be a methodical chess match. It's, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see how each guy starts off in the fight.
We're really excited. The WBA interim championship is on the line here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. We're coming back with our first round. Stay with us.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Youri Kalenga, El Toro des Peoples. Je suis champion du monde.
I know that he has a big mouth. That's the only thing I know about him.
Ouais, apparemment, premièrement, dans ton Daley, c'est pas le genre de boxeur que moi je calcule.
I'm definitely looking forward to closing that mouth.
Moi, je suis un grand champion boxe partout.
I just put it all aside and go for what I know I can do.
Après, on va voir qu'est-ce qu'il va donner parce que moi, je suis sûr de moi je suis El Toro, donc je me suis entraîné pour.
I know it's on the line and I will come prepared.
En parlant de dangereux, je crois pas qu'il est dangereux. Samedi soir, je vais gagner et je vais ramener mon titre en France.
Do it, not say it.
Parce que moi, je suis le plus grand boxeur, le plus dangereux des boxeurs. Parce que moi, j'ai mis des super KO que lui. J'en ai gagné des grands décimants.
My prediction is I don't see the fight going more than 7 rounds.
Moi, je suis prêt, donc je me suis dit, Je vais battre Denton Daley samedi et pour rencontrer Denis Lebedev.
When I put my head down and go for something, I like to see it through.
Mais en disant qu'il est dangereux, non. Je respecte pas les dangereux. Et je suis prêt. Donc, je suis prêt à battre Denton Daley chez lui.
Please show up.
The truest of championship boxing, a world title fight from the WBA here at the Hershey Center. Time now to go to the ring for this 12-rounder. Here's your ring announcer, Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the ring, the challenger. Fighting tonight out of the blue corner, Dangerous Denton Daley.
There's Denton Daley making his way to the ring. And you'll catch a glimpse by his side, his nephew Rashawn. 2 months ago, Rashawn suffered a condition similar to a heart attack. He almost died. In fact, Rashawn's heart had stopped beating on its own for almost 45 minutes. He was saved luckily by a young woman who had EMS training and witnessed him collapsing. Only a few months later, he now walks beside his uncle on the way to a world title fight. An amazing story indeed. A story of life and the challenges it presents. There's always something to fight for. Sometimes it's more than a belt.
Wow.
So when you see Denton and you see his nephew, Rashawn walking beside him, that is a true story of courage. This young man is only 60 years of age.
The crowd is going crazy right now inside the Hershey Center.
And rightfully so. This is a hometown boy that deserves all the accolades he's getting. Gotta love the Tucks coming to the ring. Let's go back to Thomas Schreiber.
And now let's welcome to the ring, the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the red corner, Youri El Toro, the People's Champion, Kalenga.
Representing France via the Republic of Congo. 20-1 with 13 KOs, Youri Kalenga, calling himself the People's Champ. El Toro, the Bull. 6 foot, 200 pounds, a full 5 pounds bigger than Dangerous Denton Daley.
He's having some fun right now.
He is. He's coming into a little bit of a different tune.
Hey.
He's singing it out. It's good.
He's making an entrance, that's for sure.
He's a little bit of a ham, playing it up to the crowd a bit. If you're Denton Daley, does this this get your motor starting or what?
Knowing Denton Daley, I won't say I know him real well, but the little I do know him, this stuff doesn't bother him.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now at this time, I ask that you all please rise for the playing of the national anthem for the country of France. I now ask that you all please remain standing as we welcome 12-year-old Selena Rosetone of Hamilton, Ontario, to perform the singing of the Canadian National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing, and it will be for the WBA Interim Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by United Boxing Promotions in association with Title Fight Promotions. It is sanctioned by the Office of the Athletics Commissioner Ken Hayashi, along with the World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza. Supervisor tonight, George Martinez. Our three judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Sergio Kais, John Hunteray, and Carlos Sucre. Our referee in charge, the third man in the ring, will be Charlie Fitch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Hershey Center here in Mississauga, Ontario, this is our main Introducing to you first the challenger, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing gray with black trim and weighed in at 195 pounds. Hailing from Brampton, Ontario, Canada, he is undefeated with 12 wins. 6 of his 12 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current NABA Cruiserweight champion and the #2 ranked contender in the world by the WBA, Dangerous Denton Daley. And his opponent, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring tonight wearing silver with black trim and weighed in at an even 200 pounds. A native of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he now makes his home in Gravelines, France. He brings a professional record consisting of 20 wins, just 1 defeat, with 13 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the reigning and defending WBA interim cruiserweight champion of the world, Youri, El Toro, the people's champion, Kalenga. Ladies and gentlemen, both the rules, touch close now, we're fighting at the bell.
There's the tail of the tape for these two fighters. Denton Daley at 32 years of age, 6 years the senior of Kalenga. They say Daley weighed in at really 195. He's leaner but has more muscle mass than we've seen in the past.
He looks good.
Here we go for round number 1. Daley comes out of the corner quickly, as does Kalenga. Daley connects with the first combination, hitting mostly gloves of Kalenga. Kalenga, wild right and left hand. Daley connects with the overhand right. Now we've seen Denton Daley with a problem with that right hand in the past. He broke that right hand, Michelle.
A few months ago when I got a chance to interview him at the last fights here at the Hershey Center, he said, oh, everything is totally fine. I've been training, so, you know, that really can't be a thought in your mind, Tibor, when when you have an injury like that, being a boxer.
That's in the past now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
Short-term memory.
Look at the concentration on both these fighters.
I want you to look at Denton. You see when they get close to each other, Denton, he's kind of using little feints and stuff. He's trying to pull shots from his opponent a little bit, just kind of seeing what he's got. See the little feint there? Just trying to take a look, see what he's gonna do.
Kalenga took that one straight to the head, shook it off. There's the foot speed we talked about with Daley. He's able to get out of trouble in a hurry. Boy, no feeling out period for these two fighters.
Good body shot by Kalenga.
Again, he's called El Toro the bull because we've only seen him go one way, and that's forward. We don't see Kalenga back up all that often.
And you're you're right. Technically, he is doing that right now. He's slowly walking Denton around the ring. Denton, though, doing a good job still getting his jabs off and staying out of range.
Denton takes that straight left. Nice job by Daley to tie him up. Then he comes through the right. Connects with another one.
I guess by Denton, you know, like tying him up, but knowing that, you know what, your hands are still free. You're still free to punch.
On the break, you can throw.
That's right. You can still throw, unless he tells you that you can't.
That's right. He saw Kalenga get a little comfortable in the clinch. He took advantage and throw a little right hand underneath and over top.
We've talked about this before. The more you see Daley stretch this fight out, the better it will be for him. There's Kalenga with the wild right, Daley with the straight left. There's that straight right from Daley off the clinch.
Good shot.
I talked to Denton yesterday, and he said he's very familiar with this guy's style, that he likes to come out hard in the early going. Daley's going to just try to match him and stick with him.
Denton doing a great job of just being patient. You see how he's giving up ground. Anytime El Toro gets close to him, he's giving up ground with his feet. Not too much ground. He's not running. He's just giving up enough for his opponent to miss the shot.
Daley with a good uppercut. Again, coming off the clinch.
Yeah, making sure he keeps it rough and tough in there.
A little moused under the right eye of Youri Kalenga. Kalenga caught Daley going backwards. Daley falls through the ropes, has to hang on. Kalenga with wild punches.
Yeah, I was just going to say very long and wild punches, though. So even though, you know, they're wild, they're looping, he's got such great length that he's still, you know, grazing or landing a little bit of those looping shots.
Daley connects with a straight left. Connects again. Kalenga keeps coming forward. Low body shot. Kalenga pushes Daley off. Missed over top on that one as well. Daley moves him back to the center of the ring. And again, El Toro moving forward. Takes another punch. Daley certainly piling up the points, Tibor.
Yeah, you know, he's looking pretty good. He's taking his time in there right now. You know, as I mentioned before, he's got to be careful he doesn't fall behind and you know, not doing enough work. Kalenga's working. He's not really connecting much. Good defense by Denton.
One thing that he's doing, and I think this is going to be like the theme for tonight, to try to slow down and tire out Kalenga, is to weigh on him, right?
Yeah,
That's
taking
what he's
his
doing.
time. That's right. He's not getting hit with anything too big.
That's why he keeps clinching. He clinches with him, weighing him down, like dirty boxing, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So you're weighing on your opponent. It's 200 pounds that he's got to lug around, right?
You can see why the majority of Youri Kalenga's knockouts have come in the early going. He's throwing big, hard punches. There's one that caught Denton. Daley backed him up into the corner. Again, there's that big overhand right you talked about, Michelle, and Daley's able to just jab his way to a little bit more points.
Yeah, he landed that straight right hand too. When you got looping punches, you got to go down the pipe, right? This is a recipe for success / disaster for somebody, right?
Yeah, it's a good chess match right now.
But I think that's what Denton's trying to do. He's trying to slow the big man down. You know what? I'm going to put my 200 pounds all over this man and then, you know, get my uppercuts in and my short shots in when I'm in the pocket.
You're right, he's taking his time, taking a look. He's not in any trouble.
Daley's also known for his cardio, so he wants to stretch out this fight as long as possible. He's got the crowd behind him. That's for sure.
I like the shiftiness from Denton. You see how he's kind of, it's like he's dancing in there, little shifty stuff. That's good. It's going to make his opponent feel a little awkward. Right, there you go. Looking good.
He caught him with that big right. Daley, a little bit hurt, moves along the ropes, and then backs back into the center of the ring.
Right, Tibor. When he's moving, he is moving backwards because El Toro's moving forwards, but he's doing it with angles, making it difficult for him. You know, it's not just straight punches that you're going to hit Daley with.
But yeah, he's got some shifty stuff he's doing, and I think he needs to keep doing it.
Good overhand right from Daley, but how long can you stay away from those big bombs that are coming from Kalenga?
Yeah, you know, both their hands are a little bit all over the place. From both guys, it'd be nice to see their hands up a little bit more. You know, especially from Denton, because El Toro, he's got those wild shots that kind of come and looping over left and right, different angles. They're a little bit awkward. Those kinds of shots can be difficult to see coming, and if you let them hit you in a good spot, while you've seen in one of the other fights earlier, it could make it or break it for you.
Absolutely. Daley seems to be getting that jab in. Here's another one. Kalenga with that wild left hand.
You know, we saw Denton earlier in the round try to time when Kalenga steps forward and he ducks forward with those looping shots, trying to time that uppercut.
Good footwork, great footwork by Denton, giving up ground side to side, bobbing up and down. Great defense.
Tibor, am I right in saying that Denton's been hit harder in the first 2 rounds here than he has in most of his career?
Yeah, you know, he knows he's in a tough fight this time. I mean, this guy, Kalenga, he's confident, he's strong. I think he feels great, though. I think he knows what he's doing in there, and he's thinking clearly. Good 1-2. Good 1-2 by Denton.
Nice way to get out of that, too.
Yeah.
Just how Denton was trying to time that uppercut, now Kalenga's trying to do the same thing with Denton and trying to size him up every time he goes in for the clinch, and he is bobbing and weaving into it. He's, you know, we saw in the last 20 seconds there, he got caught with.
I gotta give that round to Kalenga.
Yeah, agreed.
He landed the bigger blows and he landed more of them. Three rounds in the books. I got it 2-1 for Daley.
Doug, do we have to be in agreement? Because I'm in agreement.
What about you, Tibor?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Guys, someone's got to be devil's advocate here.
Huh. It's still early.
Yes.
Once again, that jab of Denton Daley getting through, then he gets to the body of Kalenga. That's a hard shot, a big left from Kalenga. You can see when he's loading up that big left, though.
Kalenga's corner now calling for the jab a bit more, just so he doesn't just leap in with those looping punches. He's setting them up with something now.
It's good advice. He didn't do it enough in the last round.
That uppercut just missing its mark, caught all glove. Now, one thing that Daley has on his side is Kalenga is not known for going more than 4 or 5 rounds.
Huh.
There's a big shot from Kalenga. Daley again with that left jab, hitting it on the button.
I'd like to see Denton put some more together. He is pumping that jab out, but I want to see some combinations from him.
Denton waiting a little bit too long, I feel. You know, again, I was saying earlier, you know, he doesn't want to get, he's not really getting hit with anything too clean, but, you know, you don't want to fall behind in the work ethic.
Got to keep those hands up.
Ooh, good try with the 1-2.
There's a clean shot from Kalenga. Then he comes back with a big right. This is a guy we talked about in Kalenga that has big power in both hands.
And Kalenga got cut a little bit over his right eye from that last jab by Denton.
Final 10 seconds of the 4th round. Kalenga with a wild right, just missing. He's got Daley backed into the corner. Daley's got to get out and goes for the grab. Kalenga off the break, throws the 2 punches, and just may have got the best of that round.
Like you said, Tibor, I think Daley's not pushing the pace enough. He's not showing enough offense. He's not working enough.
You know, he, like I said, he's not in a whole lot of trouble yet. He just looks like he's being outworked a little bit.
It's almost like he's just trying to stay away from those big wild punches, but is only doing so with his jab.
Yeah.
He's not putting together the combinations that we've come to see from Denton Daley in the past.
Yeah, it's the 5th round coming up, and it's time to go to work. The fight is almost half over.
When Youri Kalenga won the title from Masternak, he did it in 12-round fashion. So it's not like, you know, like I was saying earlier, it's not just, he's just a 3 or 4 round guy. But that's when most of his power is beat.
Right.
But Tibor, I think you're really right. If Denton's going to be successful, he's got to be a lot more active with combinations. Got him with a straight coming in. Ooh, Kalenga, wild hard punches.
You can see Kalenga kind of warming up now. You know, he's starting to put his combinations together, and he's starting to read Denton too. So Denton has to react, and he's got to come back with something harder than a jab. He hasn't really done anything but the jab and the 1-2.
After a quick start from Denton Daley, I've got Kalenga winning the last 2 rounds.
I gave the 3rd round an even round. Ooh, good right uppercut, left hook. Ooh.
Missed on all 3. 2 uppercuts and an overhand left. And we said off the top, this is probably one of the few fights that Denton Daley has a guy that can match him with hand speed.
power too. I mean, El Toro looks strong.
Oh yeah.
Daley takes the combination from Kalenga. And that's the second time that Kalenga's hit Daley after the referee has called for the break.
Denton looks a little tired to me.
He does. He looks a little tired, like dodging those big blows are taking a toll on him.
You know what, too, gentlemen? Adrenaline is a very, very funny thing. It gives you twice the amount of power and energy, but then once you go through the quote-unquote adrenaline dump, you lose, literally, and you're only at half as fast, as strong than you usually are. And I mean, when you're fighting for an interim title in your backyard, I would consider that a big adrenaline dump.
Oh, yeah.
So the 5th round comes to a close.
Denton has a lot of time to turn this around, but if things keep going in the fashion that they're going, it's not looking good for him because, like we said, Kalenga's timing is getting better and he does look tired. He's not putting things together.
In Denton's corner right now, Sid Vanderpool just said to him, do you want his title? Yes or no, do you want his title? So in other words, get up, get the adrenaline going again, and let's get back in this fight. I've got Denton losing the last 3 rounds. You've got one of them as a draw there to the keyboard.
Yeah, I think the 3rd round an even round. Won't be too hard on these guys, but definitely, like I was afraid of, Denton's fallen a little bit behind in terms of the work ethic. He needs to throw more punches instead of looking for the big shot. Put it together, double jab, right hand, left hook, just, you know, putting more combinations together.
Doug, it looked like that pep talk worked.
Yeah, it sure does. Daley looks like a bit of a changed fighter coming out in this, the 6th round. We're halfway through a scheduled 12-rounder. Denton got caught on the counter punch on that one. El Toro still comes forward, takes that jab.
Good shot, good up jab, right in the throat. Good overhand right.
I'm amazed at how wild the punches from Kalenga are.
Another good overhand right.
He's throwing from the heels.
And he does lunge forward quite a bit when he's doing them as well.
You're right, Denton's looking a little tired simply because he's got his mouth open a little bit, breathing a little harder, and you don't usually see that from Denton Daley. He's usually the epitome of conditioning.
You know what, he's got some pep in his feet still. I think he's gonna find a second win.
Hits him with a right. Gets the crowd into this one.
One thing that I'm actually a little surprised about with Denton is that he hasn't thrown an overhand yet, an overhand right. Kalenga's left hand is very, very low.
That was a low blow there. So a warning coming to Kalenga. Connects with the right. Ties up Kalenga after Kalenga. It's funny how when Kalenga gets hit hard, he comes back with a fury.
Yeah, he's super tough. Throwing shots with bad intentions.
Daley right at the bell. That was a close one.
Tough round.
That shot definitely got everybody on their feet too. I don't know, that was a little bit of a draw to me, that round. Very close round.
Well, I think WBA rules is the 10-point must system.
Yes. I mean,
gotta have one guy with 10, one guy with 9.
All right, I gave it to Denton.
I did as well.
He started the round well and finished it well.
He did. He showed some pep in his feet again. Looked like he got a bit of a second win. I think we might see something turn around here in the next round.
You know what, Tibor, when you talk about the judging system and, you know, this whole 10-9 system, someone has to get a 10. It is the beginning and end of a round that judges will remember. So that's why fighters always put the pressure on the last, 20 seconds of a round, because you want to leave that lasting impression.
Yeah. Daley with a nice combination. Got to get out of that corner as Kalenga comes firing into the corner. Daley in the middle of the ring. Kalenga misses with the jab. Something we haven't seen from either fighter so far, a lot of body work.
Good jab.
That's a nice jab from Kalenga.
Kalenga's watching. He's watching. His defense is good.
Kalenga's hands are dropping just a tad as well. Holding it more chest high than shoulder high.
I kind of feel like Denton's fighting with a little bit more emotion here.
Yeah, the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, he's been getting, which you don't really want to fight with emotion per se, but he's getting angry that he's getting hit and wanting to respond right away.
Ooh, tried to wrap that right hand around the gloves.
Denton connected with a right of his own though, coming out of the corner. But you're right, that's bad intentions on those punches coming from Youri Kalenga. Kalenga bleeding from the mouth now.
Great jab.
.30 seconds left in the 7th round. Daley gets away from that big right. You can hear Kalenga snorting a little bit in the ring. He's having trouble breathing through his nose.
Yeah, he's snarling.
Those jabs are doing their work, though, for Daley, is what I'm trying to say. Daley hits with the right. Kalenga comes back over top, but doesn't connect. Seventh round in the books.
It looks like Kalenga has a lot of scar tissue on his face in the first place, and now it's just getting opened up.
When you fight his style of fight, Tibor, you can't help but have scar tissue in your face.
Oh, yeah.
There's no real defense to him with the exception of big, wild punches to keep these guys off guard.
Yeah. I saw Kalenga win that last round.
Oh, did you?
I did.
I had Daley winning that round, so.
Fair enough.
The only reason I had Daley winning that round is he was connecting more often. More punches that had a purpose. He made El Toro miss more often than he connected.
Right.
That's just my opinion, but Michelle, what did you have it?
I was pretty undecisive.
Come on.
Is that okay?
No, we're putting you on the
spot?
on the hot seat.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with you, Doug. I think Denton landed a few more shots. Hard ones, anyways.
Denton looks like the confidence is getting better and better with every round.
Yeah, he doesn't look tired anymore, right? And that's a good thing. That's a good sign. He's kind of got his second win now. I'd like to see his hands come up a little higher and obviously throw a few more shots. Maybe not so many big shots, just trying to pepper him more with some little
combinations.
Shots. Yeah.
Yeah. Even show him a different angle.
But Kalenga, every time Denton exchanges, Kalenga's willing to exchange with him and big shots. So I think it's making Denton a little bit hesitant to exchange with him. All more reason why Denton needs to pop the jab a little more, box a little more, be a little bit more busy. He's moving around the ring great, Denton.
Daley almost got caught on that one. Takes that overhand right. Kalenga going after him now. Daley gets into the clutch. That's one thing Denton Daley's done so well tonight, Michelle, is that every time he feels trouble coming, he grabs.
Yeah, he goes into that clinch really well, and you saw it through the first couple rounds. When on that exit, he was like a nice pivot with that hook. He's not doing that anymore, though.
Daley turns him around. Once again, Denton Daley gets out of trouble. That left hand starting to drop from Youri Kalenga. Down around his waist now.
Kalenga definitely landing a lot more shots this round, though.
Yep.
Denton has to put something together.
40 seconds left in the 8th round. A scheduled 12-round fight for the WBA Interim Cruiserweight Championship of the World.
Good right hand, good right hands, good jab.
Denton's got to be busy. He tried to make that big right, but Kalenga was right there. Kalenga comes through with a left, knocking Daley back.
Bit of a head clash right there. Ooh, that hurts, man.
Kalenga complaining that Daley did it on purpose. Daley cut over his left eye, the blood streaming down into his eye. That could be costly. I got Kalenga winning the 8th round.
Definitely. Daley going back into that shell that he was in those earlier rounds, Tibor, where, like you said, he's sitting back a little bit too much and having the action come to him.
Yeah, he's got his hands down a little bit, and he's getting hit with the jab a little bit. I don't think he's ever been in any real hurt or any trouble, but he's getting outpointed a bit, outlanded.
How bad is this cut over his eye? 4 rounds to go.
And really, it's the only blemish on his face, gentlemen. We've seen Kalenga having a hard time breathing and, bleeding from his mouth and scar tissue under his eyes opening up, and this is the only thing that Denton's got on him, but it seems like a pretty big gash.
It's a nice little cut. Oh yeah.
Daley comes out with a big flurry to start this 9th round.
I wonder if he was told, you know what, you can't get hit at that spot anymore because it could be a factor in possibly stopping the fight. You gotta, put the pace on him now. Could be a motivating factor.
That was a big body shot from Kalenga.
It was a warning because Kalenga's punch was a little bit dangerous.
He kind of,
spine.
yeah, kind of hit him behind the back.
Yeah.
Ooh, good right hand.
That was a big right hand. Daley pops out that left jab again to keep him off pace. Kalenga stalking Daley. Daley hurt. Daley trying to hang on. Kalenga pushes him away. Daley grabs back in. Kalenga pushes him away again. Coming through with a big flurry. Daley backs in the corner. Kalenga. Daley goes down. Daley goes down.
He's tired. He's more tired than he is hurt.
Daley was just waiting. He wanted that full 10 count to go his way. Kalenga just trying to hang on for the last 30 seconds of the right round. And Kalenga's coming in like the bull that he is. Daley trying to hang on. Trying to hang on to Kalenga. Kalenga just muscling him away. Kalenga now going in for the kill. Daley clutching again, trying to stay the final 12 seconds of the round, and Kalenga's hauling off and throwing big blows. Daley hangs on, and the round comes to an end. Oh my, what a ninth round for Youri Kalenga. Here's where Daley gets in trouble. Watch this left hook come in from Youri Kalenga. Kalenga sets him up, catches him over top with that left hook. And down goes Daley. Now watch Denton when he's on the ground though, because Denton knows exactly, eyes are wide open. He sees the referee counting. He just wanted to use 9 of his 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, he's more tired than he is hurt.
He actually said to him, he's like, I'm okay. That was the first thing that he said, I'm okay. And then, so it stuttered him, the left stuttered him. Kalenga followed it up with a jab, pushed him off, and
the
then.
jab hurt him too.
Yeah.
Teamwork, Kalenga did a great job of making sure that Denton could not clutch and grab with him. He just severely just pushed him away.
Yeah. Kalenga is obviously stronger than Denton. That's a good right hand by Denton.
Daley connected with that right, and this is what he's got to do. Set up those combinations better. I got that last round as a 10-8 round for Kalenga. You can hear the fans right behind us just trying to get Denton going. Big uppercut from Kalenga.
The good thing, if you're a fan of Denton Daley, is that his eyes wide open, focused. He doesn't seem like, he's wobbly right now.
Yeah, like I said, he's more tired. I don't believe his flat-footedness is coming from the shots that he's getting hit with. He's really, really tired.
What Denton was doing early on, ducking out of the way of those big punches.
Can't hold on to this guy. He's stronger than him. He's gonna make you tired. He's got to use those feet. move around the ring, pop that jab, try and get something else working. And he's just standing there looking at him with his hands down.
He's got to counter punch a little bit better. And in fact, when Kalenga comes flying forward, he's got to be able to step aside and take advantage of that.
Another problem is that he's consistently moving backwards. It gets tiring.
Yeah, he's not using it in the ring.
Kalenga. Trying to stay away from those big.
Ooh, there's the digging right there.
Yeah, that caught the body shot. Final 10 seconds of round number 10.
He's getting him into the clinch as part of his defense, but then not countering with anything. You have to have an answer for all those points that are being, put on Kalenga's scorecard. You got to answer and get some points yourself.
Take a look at some highlights of this round. A nice clean shot from Denton Daley, but is that enough to give you a round?
He landed one little. He landed a nice 1-2 in there. But
I'd like to see more of that from him.
Yeah, to me it looks like he's more surviving right now.
2 more rounds left for Denton Daley.
And he doesn't have time to survive, basically.
Because of that,
if you want to win this fight, you don't have time to just survive it.
Yeah, there's Denton's also bleeding from the mouth as well as that eye. Kalenga we saw bleeding from the nose and the mouth. I think Youri Kalenga at the end of this will say he was in for a fight.
Absolutely.
Nice jab to keep Kalenga off, then hits him again. Kalenga looking for that big one punch. Daley took a hard left to the jaw.
Kalenga was really pressing forward now. He feels like he can finish this off in these latter rounds here. Championship rounds.
But Tibor, you've been in his position before, being that of Kalenga. You don't want to go to the scorecards in somebody else's hometown.
No, you don't. He's doing a good job. He's ahead in the fight. He's got a knockdown. I think Denton's the one that's in trouble. He needs a knockout to win.
Or a knockdown to even the fight.
Or a knockdown, you're right.
Will it go back to a night? He needs to get his own 10-8 round.
Absolutely. He needs to turn something around here because he's falling behind.
You're right. It looks like Daley's hanging on.
He's just surviving right now.
Yeah.
He can't return with anything back. He's too tired.
1:06 left in the 11th round of a scheduled 12-rounder.
Good body shot. That's where you want to go when a guy's bending over and just kind of standing there.
He's already sucking wind. That's just going to add to it, right?
There's a hard shot. Daley tripped up along the ropes. Kalenga just couldn't finish it off. Daley, the cut is opened over his eye again. I'll tell you what, his corner's done a great job of keeping the blood out of his eye.
Yeah, it's the bleeding has stopped.
That's the second time Denton in this round has been warned against clutching on the back of Kalenga's head. Round number 11 in the books. One round to glory.
Last round coming up.
Here's Denton's corner. Sid Vanderpool talking to him, pretty much reiterating how much do you want this?
He needs a knockout.
You don't think he needs a knockdown anymore. Now it's a knockout.
That's what he needs. He needs a knockout.
Great show of sportsmanship right there, too, right before the final round.
Yeah, from both guys. At how many punches Kalenga's missing on. That takes so much out of a fighter.
And he's still throwing them.
He's still throwing them. Daley trying to hang on. Kalenga trying to put an end to this. There's a big left. Daley stumbles into the ring. Second knockdown. Daley's back on his feet, says he's okay. Kalenga looking to finish him, knocks him down again. They end the fight. They're not calling that a knockdown, they're calling it a slip. That's not a knockdown, that's a slip. Daley, oh, a big uppercut! He's out on his feet and down.
It's over.
It's over. Youri Kalenga maintains his title. A 12th round knockout for Youri Kalenga. And boy, those punches were just coming in a hurry.
He did what he had to do.
Youri Kalenga is your new WBA interim Cruiserweight champion of the world. Gotta tell you something though. Denton Daley put on a show for the hometown fans. 12 wonderful rounds of boxing here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. Let's go to the ring. Here's Let's go to the ring as we take a look at what Kalenga does at the end of this 12th round. There's that left hook that really did it.
Good combination.
And out on his feet is dangerous Denton Daley. Great combinations, Tibor.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. He deserved to win the fight. He was busier, threw bigger, better punches. Denton didn't have an answer.
We said Denton Michelle had to get a knockout in the 12th round to get a victory. It wasn't to be on this one.
No, unfortunately not, and he does suffer his first loss of his career in this title fight, but he did fight valiantly for 11 and a half rounds.
But I'll tell you something, for a guy with 12 fights, he has reached amazing heights in his career, and I'm telling you, he has to be holding his head up because he put on a show here for the hometown fans. Let's go to the ring. Here's Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 1 minute 52 seconds of round number 12. Our referee in charge, Charlie Fitch, steps in to stop the contest. Your winner by way of technical knockout and still WBA interim cruiserweight champion of the world, Youri El Toro, the people's champion, Kalenga.
Okay. Michelle, some final thoughts on this WBA world title fight here at the Hershey Center.
I mean, I'm very happy to see Denton Daley up, smiling, and, you know, they're still hugging. A great show of sportsmanship, like I said, at the beginning of that 12th round. A little bit of a questionable call in terms of the refereeing and not stopping it a little bit sooner, and then, unfortunately, Denton suffering the knockout loss. But other than that, Denton, you know what? Like you said earlier, Doug, he has grown a lot as a fighter. And, you know, to his credit, he fought a guy with a lot of experience and a lot of power.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Tibor, some final thoughts, not just on this fight, but the whole night in general. But this fight is the one we really want to talk about.
Yeah, this fight, it was a good fight. You know, Kalenga showed raw power, perseverance through the fight. Denton didn't have an answer. I thought it was a good call, good stoppage, good win.
Great to work with both of you again. For the mighty Tibor Broch, for my partner Michelle Storino, for our producer Fraser Toms. United Boxing Promotions and associated with Title Fight Promotions has done it once again here at the Hershey Center. I'm Doug Anderson. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time on Championship Boxing.